Here we are. Today. Hello. We have to figure out a better way to open these. Like, just a consistent way to open them.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, have a tagline.
Da, 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 da. The Walker Talks.
I think that I like where you're going, but I don't think that's what we're going to use. So, just kidding. I would use that. I'm going to go cut it out of this, and then I'm going to make it...
Just paste it.
Make it, like, really good, and then just paste it at the start of all of them. No, I don't know. We just need to... Or just be like, just confidently, or always say the same thing. Just like, welcome to this week's Walker Talks. On this episode, Brooklyn does, like maybe give a recap.
I like it.
But we don't actually know what we're going to talk about at the beginning of it.
You can record it at the end and...
I'm not doing that. That's too much work. That's why, just so you guys know, that's why these are very rarely, like if we make mistakes or people sneeze or cough or stuff like that, we rarely cut it out. It's not because like I don't know how, it's because I just don't want to go through and like re-listen to the whole thing and cut out every cough and like pause and stuff like that. I did that on the first couple, and then after I was like, you know what, let's just be us, and you guys can get the full experience of whatever happens here. So unedited, mostly unedited. There were, like, last time the baby blew up, and you know what, I use the phrase blow up when the baby starts crying a lot. I just want you guys to know that it's not, because I think I used it, well, like when I'm talking to some people, I'll use the baby blew up, and I think that I like it
like a blowout.
Well, yeah, they assume that it threw up or pooped or something like that. But I say it just because I mean, like the shock factor of just like the baby blew up. But no, anyway, she like was crying, so we cut like that out. But most of the time, we don't cut anything out. So, like this is something I would have cut out. Just this like long. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, we actually do have to go pretty quick because we got to get ready for church. Oh, all right. It's baby scenes in the background. If there's like kind of a wee, 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 wee sound in the background the whole time, that's the baby swing because we just want her to be quiet today. Well, not that. She's supposed to be sleeping during this time, and so we put her in the swing, but the swing's a little loud, so that will be that. If you can't hear it, then I've done my job or the blanket's done its job, I guess. Okay. We're going to jump right into it, and Brooklyn's going to talk about making books.
For CTN.
Well, just making books.
Oh,
just talk about it.
Okay. Making books is...
I mean, for CTN.
It's a lot of work. Even like the simplest book just takes a lot of time. Just because there's formatting and you have to translate it into the correct PDF and make sure that the color scale is all correct. Anyways, but this year we went with a different printing service. So Printy, which I used last year, is no longer in service in the US, which really stinks because they had such good prices. But we're using Printivity this year, which is based out of San Diego. And since I didn't want to have to pay for an InDesign what is it called, subscription for a month, I just did it on Photoshop, which is a lot more work, I'm assuming. I mean,
you think so?
No, it is. It's a lot more work. Anyways, because you have to export each page individually as a separate PDF file, and so it's just like takes a lot of time. But I did it. I finally got it out last week, and it should be here by Friday.
There were some mistakes on the first send out, and then fix those.
Yeah. And
so they would be coming earlier, but they should be here by Friday.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, because that only gives us 4 days before
CTN. Yeah, I realized I need to have books out before October even starts.
Yeah.
Because it gets crazy around Inktober time.
It does.
But yeah, finally did it. I have major respect for people who make actual books, not just dinky little saddle stitch booklets that are only 30 pages long. It's so much work, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Got it out.
Those will be ready. Those will be good.
Yeah. Oh, we realized when we were reading the proofs for this year's book that we had a typo in last year's book where I was going to include a certain illustration but then swapped it out last minute, and I guess I didn't change it in the like content page in the back or whatever.
So Easter egg on the table of contents.
So if you can find out which one it is. Anyways, yeah. So we fixed it this year.
We did. So those ones won't be wrong. Yeah, so that happened. Let's see what else happened. This week really was a pretty normal,
pretty boring week.
Boring week. Normal boring week. But this weekend we did get to go to Christine Muth, one of our friends in the ward. She invited us. She just got a job working for a company called Dreamscape, and they're a company that built or basically does these VR experiences where you put on VR, basically a computer on your back, and then you put sensors on your hands, feet, and then you wear the headset that tracks you inside of a big room that's kind of built, and then they build out these experiences around it. And it was really fun. It was awesome. It was
so awesome. It makes you feel like you're moving, and like it's just so interactive. So the one I did was like it's called The Blue, and it's just like a conservationist type thing. Yeah, like an
underwater diver.
Trying to save like whales and stuff. And it was just so cool, like how it makes it feel like you're going down into the water, and when you're moving, they like blow air on your face, so it feels like you're moving. And anyways, I feel like Matt's experience is a little bit more interactive than mine, but it's still really cool.
Yeah, we didn't. Normally, you can go in with 6 people, and normally we would go in together, but we have the baby's Juniper's just a little too little to have like a babysitter, so we just one of us stayed out while the other was in, and
because there were 3 experiences.
There were 3 experiences.
Different ones.
We just split the first 2, and then we flipped a coin on the last. It wasn't a coin. It
was a card.
It was my library card. But Brooklyn lost, and I
never pick tails, guys. Always pick heads.
I'm not gonna say anything. Because
if you pick tails, you only have a 50% chance.
Yeah, and heads,
you have a 50%.
You have a 50% chance.
Which is just kidding. Okay, dumb joke.
It's just Brooklyn loses when she chooses tails.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't want to be the tail. You want to be the head. But it was really fun. We went so Christine and Nathaniel were there, then the Muths, and then Jordan Hill, who's also in our ward, came. His wife was going to come, but one of their babies was sick, or one of their kids was sick, and so she couldn't come. But it was really fun. We hung out at the mall because it was just in a mall, and I'll talk a little bit about it later, but is in the mall, so we just went and got Panda Express in between kind of thing, and some treats, and just kind of hung out and talked. It was really, really fun. So
it was really fun.
It was very fun. So but as far as like interesting or different things that we did this week, that would be it. Mm-hmm. Everything else, it was like a very just normal week of work, and then Brooklyn has been a little less busy at nights, which has been nice. We've been able to kind of like hang out and relax before bed, instead of it just being like work all day and then eat dinner and then work all night and then go to bed. We've had a little wind down time.
Yeah.
Where we've watched stuff or played Luigi's Mansion or something like that. So it was at least that was nice.
It's been a good
but it's a good week. I mean, it's not to say just because it was like normal, it doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. I mean, it doesn't. It was just like scheduled. It was just a scheduled week. Nothing was different than the schedule. So we'll have less to talk about, even though we're dragging this out.
I know, it's still going to be a 30-minute episode. It's just like,
why do we keep talking? Okay. So that's
next point.
Next point. Nice.
Next meme.
The next stuff that we're talking about is the baby.
Babs. She is adorable.
She's adorable. she's like really, really, really close to laughing. Like Brooklyn said she like laughed in her sleep this morning, right?
Yeah, it was like an actual laugh.
It
not
sounded
like
a laugh.
Because she used to do that when, like, right out of the gate. She'd
go
doing those, like, yeah, it's like just laughing about milk or something. I don't know. But, yeah, she's getting so close. She'll, like, smile so big and then, like...
make a little coo or something. Or
like, yeah. Like, she's really trying to imitate what we're doing. Because we'll, like, laugh in her face, like, really, like... Anyways, I don't know. And
like what? We laugh in her face and mock her. No, just like very clearly, like ha 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 kind of thing. Or like, like make it sound like a very like caricaturized laugh,
right?
So that it like
she's trying so hard to imitate.
She's getting really close. But yeah, she's super big. She's growing up so fast. I mean, she's like
twice as big as she was when she was born.
Yeah,
she was 11 pounds when. Our last thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm guessing she's probably around 12 pounds.
Yeah,
now.
She's getting pretty close. No.
Yeah.
Okay, Brooklyn.
Just kidding. I'm terrible at guessing.
She is. Last time she was like a whole pound off. I was like really close, and because of that, what was it that I got to do? Oh yeah, I got to choose who to be in. Never mind.
In Luigi's Mansion.
In Luigi's Mansion. It was stupid because we both didn't want to be the same person. It was dumb.
So it worked out.
It worked out. Usually I'll bet one of us has to, like, whoever loses the bet takes the other to dinner.
Right.
But it's like,
even though we share the
kind
same
of the
bank
joke.
account.
It's like we have the same money, but okay. Let's see. That's not a very good. Oh no, never mind. Well, I was gonna say it wouldn't be good if the person who lost got to choose where to go to dinner too. They just have to pay for dinner. That's it. You just have to pay for dinner. Because if you chose where you go to dinner, you'd still win if you lost the bet.
I don't think
so.
That's
It's just
how
you
we
have to
should
pay.
do it,
Yeah, you just have to pay for dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the other thing about the baby is we have this. She has her first toy friend,
Mr. Spots.
What's his name?
I named him Mr. Spots because
he's a little giraffe.
Super original.
He's a little giraffe, and he has
it's like a giraffe blanket.
Surprise spots.
He has spots on him,
and he has a little bell in his head.
And
goes,
Juniper
tinkle,
loves
tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
him.
Yeah, we'll be like, "Where's Mr. Spots?" And as you like kind of tinkle the bell, even without her seeing it, she like kind of knows what's gonna happen, and then we play with it in her face. I think she doesn't get excited. It's really cute. And then Brooklyn took her into Sony for the first time, like to see the people that worked on Vivo.
Yes. Yeah. So I had a meeting that day. So there's a screening at Sony. They screen movies all the time, just ones that are coming out or that have come out recently. And then I had my meeting right after, but it got canceled. And so I was like, oh, I'll bring Juniper in so that Matt can go to Institute. Doesn't have to worry about bringing her there. And so I brought her, and she did super well through the screening. And I'll talk about the movie I watched later. But yeah, she met the Sony team, and they loved her, and she was super cute. But yeah, I just have a really good team. Also, she'll be a production baby, which is kind of fun.
So Juniper will be credited on Vivo.
Yeah.
They'll say production babies like right at the end. They'll say Juniper Walker. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
She's going to be credited before I am. She's already more famous than me.
She's as successful as I am, I guess. We both will have
both
a credit.
Have one credit. Yeah, but that was pretty cool. That's it with the baby, though.
Yeah.
She's cute. I think there was like one thing that I can't remember, but she's yeah. She's so funny. We love her so much. Happy little baby. Yeah, she smiles at everything, especially right in the morning. She'll just like, you'll wake her up, and as her eyes will be closed, and she'll kind of fuss a little bit, and then as soon as like both her eyes open and she sees you, she's like, yeah, like big, like big, wide, squinty smile, and it's so cute.
So cute.
But yeah, so the last part is the opinion segment. We're gonna do these in opposite order, just because I thought that maybe it would be better that way.
Okay.
Just because I have less to say about the last one and more to say about the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
Deal.
So the last one on our list of opinion segments. So number 3, is we had when we were at the mall. Jordan Hill bought everybody some. Well, we were walking past this little store that sells cheese tarts, which, I mean, I don't. Probably people have had these. I guess I don't know how to exactly describe it, but it's like a tart, so like a little pastry shell with kind of like a cheesecake. It's like it's called a cheese tart. I'd never heard of it. I'd never had one. And they did there's some chocolate ones and strawberry ones. They were delicious. They got me a chocolate one. Good. Yeah. And I just had the normal cheese one, but what I was they were really good. And I can't remember the name of the place though. It was like the cheese tart place.
That's it.
So that's the opinion. Well, what I really wanted to say is cheese tarts are delicious, and I think that even though, well, someone said like, oh, it's been so long since I've had a tart, and I said, I don't know if I've ever had a tart. in that, like, it's that hard pastry shell with like filling in it.
They have those in Portugal a lot. The pastel de Belém.
I've never been to Portugal. Just kidding. What is it?
Pastel de Belém.
Does it have cheese in it? Oh yeah, it's those things that we're gonna make.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yep, never had a tart. Tarts are good. Cheese tarts are good. Chocolate tarts are good.
Okay. Very good. It seems like you still had a significant amount to talk about on that.
Sorry. Well, we'll just wait till the last one. Okay. It's your turn.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about that screening that I went to with Juniper. So I don't know which company did this. It was like an independent French film called Funan, so Funan, and it was about Cambodia during like the communist regime, just during like all that chaos in the 70s, like during the Vietnam War and stuff. But it was an animated film about it just follows a family who just when the whole city is being evacuated and forced out of the city, all these people are just like millions of people are marching through the jungle basically, and this family gets separated from their 4-year-old son, and it's just so sad. Like everyone that came out of the screening was like crying tears of sadness. It was so sad. It's basically like Beautiful Life, or Life is Beautiful. Wait, no, Life is Beautiful. But in like Cambodia, so not Germany. And it was just so sad. Like it just made me realize how much people have suffered and like how close that is to the time that we live. I mean, there's stuff happening now, right? Like in North Korea.
I mean, stuff still happens like that.
Yeah, just the amount that people suffer because of these, these people that have these ideologies and think that communism works still, that nobody ever learns.
The evil people in the world kind of thing.
Yeah, so. And there's a lot of young people that think like socialism and communism is still like a great idea, and I don't know, it's complicated. But it was just so sad, but way beautiful, like way well done. The animation was gorgeous and like, I don't know, 10 out of 10. Really sad. Like if you want to feel sick because of how sad it was, then
if I watch
it.
I just want to preface, well, not preface because this is afterwards. I just want to say that if I walk out of a movie feeling sick and sad, I would hate that. I hate those kind of movies.
It's not a movie I'd want to watch again. I mean, maybe, but it's not like a movie I want to return to.
But you'd recommend it to somebody.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
Impactful.
Very impactful, but just like horribly sad. It makes you realize how lucky we are in the US. That's just like how easy our life is. We don't have to like fear for our lives every day and have guns pointing at the back of our head all day. Anyways, it was really sad. But June did really well during the screening. She slept the whole time. That's good. It was like dark and not a ton of people were in there, so I just like fed her in the back. So yeah. But it was sad.
Which is awesome.
But yep, Funan. If anyone wants to watch it.
Funan.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last the last part I want to talk about is first is my opinion on led by Dreamscapes. I think it's Dreamscape. First that like experience. So there are a couple. Dreamscape is marketed as a direct competitor to the Void, which is a company that came out of Utah, where they would basically, and I've not done a Void experience. There's one in LA, and I think we should go do it. But basically, it's like they take a really big room and they build out all of these like, you know, maybe like stairs or ramps or different features into this room, and then when you're in the VR world, you know, everything in this that you're looking at in the goggles is just like a computer image of a computer layover of everything that you might be walking on and stuff. So if you're walking up a hill in the game, in the VR experience, then you're walking up a ramp. This one was a little different where it was, you kind of go in and you're still in a fairly large space, maybe a 30 foot by 30 foot room. No, that's too big. Like a 20 foot by 20 foot room that has like some railing, but also it still has like kind of a walkable area. And you walk in, they set everything up, and then you're in this experience. And during the experience, you can walk up, and there's usually rails where the rails are in the experience and stuff like that. But most of the time, you're just kind of, you know, you're either experiencing something or you're held in. It's kind of hard to explain, into certain areas by like the walls in the virtual world. And as it was explained to us, as Dreamscapes is made by film makers. Like they want these experiences to feel like, you know, you're in a film, like you're experiencing a story that they're telling you, kind of thing, where the Void is similar, that you're in the game, and you are a character in a game more so. And so it's really both. I would really like to go to the Void to see for sure, but this, what I really want to talk about is just VR in general. So Dreamscapes I thought was awesome. It's really cool because the model is really interesting, because each of the rooms is so small that you could basically just plug a Dreamscapes into any strip mall anywhere in the world. So as far as business models go, I feel like Dreamscape is like a very like sustainable model where it can just plug in anywhere, where the Void, you have to have a much bigger area and invest a lot more into, you know, like construction, because it would have to be built out. Yeah. So Dreamscape, but it was awesome. It was super fun. It gave you a really good feel of VR, and it's with people, which I think is really cool, is that you can look around and see your other friends that you're with in the game or in the experience. It like builds out their
bodies.
Yeah, because they're an avatar.
They have the sensors, and so
it senses your feet, your hands, your back, and your head, and so it knows if you're crouching, it knows if you're picking up your feet, and it kind of, you know, it knows if you're where you're moving your hands and stuff. And there's some really interesting stuff with that. So it's really cool. But I want to talk about VR in general. We've done a couple things a lot of things in VR. So Brooklyn worked on a VR project in college, and because of that, we used their VR headset pretty frequently. Like we've played games, done some experiences and stuff, and it was when we first did that, I think is when I was like, wow, this is not just a kitschy, like,
or like super geeky thing,
like or super geeky gamer, or just really niche, or what was the word I'm looking for? Just like, it's not just some like dinky experience. It's like it's starting to get really good. That's when I started.
Really
the technology is. It's not just like some dumb little game kind of thing. It's like you really feel immersed in the worlds that you're in. And that's when I first started that. And since then, I mean, the technology's gotten more available and more like affordable, available, and also like better.
We
like
own a VR headset now.
So we have a VR headset for the PlayStation, and even that, where it's not marketed as the most like powerful or most high resolution VR system, but it really immerses you in what you're doing, and it's just such an interesting thing. I just think that VR is going to be like, we'll see the future is going to be littered with VR, and it will be a really interesting future if it goes that way. But I love VR. I recommend if anyone ever has an opportunity to try it out or do it, you should, because it really, it's a fun experience, but also it kind of, I think it's kind of the future. So
yeah, it's really cool.
Anyway, see, that was longer than cheese tarts.
You're right.
Probably.
Yeah. My only complaint about Dreamscape specifically, and kind of VR headsets in general, is that they're so heavy and bulky, and the ones at Dreamscape like kind of cut down onto the bridge of your nose. It just laid really heavily, and it wasn't padded very well for whatever reason. It's like it was padded around the side of your like cheeks, but not on your nose, and so it just like hurts. I had to like hold my headset up pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
I feel like ours is a little better.
Ours is way more comfortable. Also,
but they tend to be
the
like
ones
clunky.
that we wore were a different headset.
Right. Yeah, there's a bunch of different like companies that make...
I'm at Dreamscape.
Right.
So when we went in, it was a
yours
different
was
headset.
different.
Yeah,
okay.
in a different experience.
Mine was like so heavy.
And so I think that I mean, again, that's part of it too, is like the technology is getting better and more comfortable and stuff like that too, because it is really clunky. But yeah. Like right now, I think even Oculus, who was one of the first companies to make like a viable headset, they're now doing like a self-contained headset, because usually you have to have it plugged into something. You have to plug it into your computer, or you have to plug it into a PlayStation or something that does the graphics processing for you, because it's so it just has so much to process.
Right.
But they've just made a self-contained unit where you just put the headset on and you use the hands, and it tracks you don't have to have like sensors. It's just cordless, so, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's another thing, is like not only is it heavy, it's like being pulled down by this heavy wire or cord.
Sometimes.
It's like,
oh, were you?
Yeah, it was connected to my backpack, so it was like
it was stuck under your thing. Those wires were long enough to...
Oh, they were?
Yeah. Brooklyn just doesn't know how to put stuff on.
Okay, that was my bad.
So
no, but the headset still was heavy.
Yeah, but it should not have been what Brooklyn experienced. So
it still was awesome.
It is really cool.
Despite the difficulties.
It is all really cool. And so yeah. That's what we want to say.
Yep. That's it.
Okay. We will hopefully this week will be more fun. Not much is going on. I actually don't think it's going to be just like
this week was actually awesome.
Still talked.
We went to VR.
Way too long.
Like it was a boring week.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, okay.
Still 30 minutes
long.
on.
We should really end this. So we love you guys. And
bye.